Idaho Matters podcast is brought to you by St. Luke's On-Demand Virtual Care, which allows patients to see a provider from their home using a computer or smartphone with on-demand care for common ailments, such as a cough, sore throat, or a sinus issue. More information at stlukesonline.org.
Local news, fire alerts, music that brings us together. Boise State Public Radio is not optional, it's essential. But after the Senate cut off federal support, we are facing a serious funding shortfall. Your gift today helps keep this free local service on the air for everyone in every corner of Idaho. You can go to boisestatepublicradio.org and donate now.
From the studios of Boise State Public Radio News, I'm Samantha Wright filling in for Jim McGoddett. It's Idaho Matters. Last summer, the Wapiti Fire blazed through Idaho's National Forest, destroying over 120,000 acres and leaving a trail of devastation across the Stanley area. But out of the ashes, the Daughters of the American Revolution have started a fundraiser to jumpstart reforestation efforts. The Project Pinecone will send nearly 250,000 pine seedlings to the area over the next couple of years in an effort to bring back to life the once vibrant landscape. Janice Beller is the honorary state regent of Idaho's Daughters of the American Revolution. She's joining us now to tell us more about the Pinecone Project. Janice, thanks for being here.
You bet. Thanks for having me. Good afternoon.
Tell us about the Daughters of the American Revolution for folks who haven't run into you before.
Sure. We are a lineage society based on service. All members of the Daughters, we're all women over the age of 18 who can prove a connection to a patriot of the American Revolution, which means we are connected through family lines to someone who either fought in the revolution or who offered assistance in some way to the cause of American freedom.
Wow. And why did you want to get involved in forest reforestation efforts? Tell me about this.
Sure. Well, we typically focus our efforts in three main areas: historic preservation, education, and patriotism. But the beautiful thing about the DAR is that patriotism tenet that we hold to can really cover a lot of good. And so we recognize that one of the gifts our founding fathers gave us was this beautiful country with all of its resources, with all of its wonder and all of its opportunity. And so the opportunity for the 900 daughters who live here in Idaho to give back to our state that we so truly love, especially in an area that is personally meaningful to me and to a lot of other daughters, that was our call to action. It was a way that we could help and have a lasting impact on Idaho's environment and Idaho's most beautiful landscape, literally for generations to come. It was an opportunity we just couldn't pass up.
Well, I heard that pinecone harvesting isn't cheap. How much does this cost, and how much did you want to raise?
It does. But it's amazing how from little things come big gifts. It does take, obviously, it's a forest. It's a lot of ground to cover. It takes $2,500 a day to hire an expert team of 2 pinecone pickers. They literally go up into the trees, 75 to 100 feet in the air, and they pick the pine cones in a roughly 3-week window throughout the year. That's the only chance we get to be able to harvest the seeds that can help us repopulate the forest. And so we started with a goal of just one day. It's like, well, let's just see what we can do with this. And we've just been blown away. We've been able to raise $25,000, which will be 10 days worth of pinecone picking. And ultimately, as you mentioned, it will lead us to be able to replant about 250,000 trees, which will cover roughly 930 acres of some of the most badly burned area in the Wapiti Fire. And for those of you pinecone math geeks out there, we're replacing about 1.4 square miles of Stanley forest, which is just, I had no idea. I had no vision that that's what we might be able to accomplish. And yet with little donations here and there from donors across the nation, that's what we've been able to give back to our forests here in Idaho.
That's incredible. Oh, that's amazing. Okay, 1.4 miles. And like you said, it won't happen overnight. This takes some time, right?
It does, as all good things do. So the goal is to get the pine cones picked this year. If Mother Nature is willing and the harvest season looks good, it's typically late August, early September when they'll harvest the seeds. And then they stay local. They go right up to the Lucky Peak Nursery and they're given over to the hands of the experts there who will lovingly nurse those seeds into little seedlings. And as you mentioned, probably within the next 2 to 3 years, depending on growth cycles and favorable conditions in the burn area, we'll start planting those trees back and giving them back for generations to come.
Wow. Okay, we've got about a minute left. What's next for the daughters? What are you working on?
Sure. Well, if you haven't heard about it, there's a big old birthday coming up. You know, America may not look like she's a day over 125, but she's actually coming up on her 250th birthday. And that's a particular, the 4th of July is a great holiday for Daughters of the American Revolution. It's our national holiday. But we are really looking forward to July 4th of 2026. We are proud to be a proud supporter and partner with Idaho's America 250 efforts. And so you're going to see our daughters out in the community providing service, connecting us all together, and getting us ready for an extraordinary celebration next July 4th as we celebrate Idaho or America's 250th birthday here in Idaho. As always, though, daughters are always out in the communities. We've got 15 chapters around the state, always looking for ways to be of service, to help, and to honor our patriot ancestors.
Janice, this has been great. Thanks for coming on the show today.
Oh, thanks for having us. I certainly appreciate it. Thank you.
You've been listening to Idaho Matters from Boise State Public Radio. I'm Gemma Gaudette.
These days, there's so much news, it can be hard to keep up with what it all means for you, your family, and your community. The Consider This podcast from NPR features our award-winning journalism. 6 days a week, we bring you a deep dive on a news story and provide the context and analysis that helps you make sense of the news. We get behind the headlines. We get to the truth. Listen to the Consider This podcast from NPR.